Hello everyone, my name is Sarah and welcome back to my channel. It is the Storytellers Hearth Weekend Relay this weekend, and by this weekend I mean from today, because it is the 27th of March. This is the beginning of an attempt at a vlog for the weekend. We shall see how well I do in actually doing the vlogging part and the writing part. I have high hopes. I'm very determined to do the thing this weekend. Fingers crossed. For those of you who don't know, the Storytellers Hearth Weekend Relay is a biannual event where writers come together for a fun weekend of streams, of productivity, creativity, lifting each other up, general chaos and complaining as us writers do, and generally being together as a community. There are 13 streams across 3 days, so there is plenty of opportunity to join in, have some fun, make some friends, and get some work done. That's the important part. And I have quite a few things that I need to get done, some things that I need to get started with, and doing them, you know, in an event will hopefully force my ADHD brain to actually do the work instead of just thinking about doing the work, planning to do the work, or half-assing the work. I need to make some serious progress. We're going to get it done this weekend. Look, half term has just started for me. The kids are home all weekend. We'll see. Do I have goals or aims or deadlines this weekend? No, I don't like those. They stress me out. If I have them and if I feel like I'm not going to achieve them, or if I don't achieve them, I don't like it. So I have 2 things specifically that I want to work on over this weekend. We'll see how far in those things I actually manage to get. The first is to continue writing the first draft of my witchy YA, They Lead the Hunt. I've just started Act 4. I have 8 chapters left of this story to write. The first draft is so bad. It is so bad. You would not believe how bad this first draft is. There is so much half-assing in it. Going through and writing everything, like, some things make sense, some things do not make sense. There's a lot of work I need to put into this in regards to fleshing out characters and subplots, but it will be finished, and that is the most important step so far. So hopefully over the weekend I will get a good chunk of that done. I do not want to say how many chapters I want to get done. I don't want to be like, yeah, we're going to get 4 chapters done. Absolutely fantastic. No, again, that is pressure. So as much of Act 4 as possible. Obviously, I'd like to at least get the first chapter done. We want to get chapter 25 done and finished. It's mostly finished, actually. Let's say chapters 25 and 26 finished. At least. That would be lovely if I could do at least those 2, but again, we don't want to be like oh, this is definitely what I'm going to do, or this is my aim. That's not the vibe for the weekend at all whatsoever. The second thing I need to do, this is the important one, this is what I might focus most of my time on, is prepping for the 4th draft of Stars and Smoke and Other Intangible Things, which is my YA paranormal fantasy, which needs some work. Not a lot of work, thankfully. The plot is basically fine. The plot is basically there. I do know that the royal we need to focus on not making the plot so samey. So especially in Acts 2 and 3, something happens and then they talk about it, and then something happens and they talk about it. It's very rinse and repeat what happens. So I need to shift them some words. I need to shift some things about to not make those two acts of the plot so predictable, which is fine. I need to add some tension, a little bit more stakes. I do also need to work on some character arcs, because one of the beta readers said the character arcs feel a little bit samey. But that is the least of my focus, at least for this weekend. The focus is the plot. And I have already started with my little notebook. Yeah, it's a notebook that I've actually started to use. Shock, I don't ever use my notebooks specifically for this novel. And I have started, no, not that one. Not that one. I have started, these notes are terrible. They are completely out of order. They don't make much sense. Whatever I happen to be thinking about working on is written in really, really random places. I've got some important bits I need to make sure in Acts 2 and 3. I've got some, oh, this is the new way that this plot point can go. And these are all of the different other bits of the plot, like maybe we can do it this way instead so it's not so samey. And more plot links and clues and information that we need to make sure we put into the, it's all in there, it's just all over the place. And this is why it's been so difficult for me to sit down and actually focus, because I'm not focusing and I don't have a proper plan as to how to outline. Until now, I have a plan now. Here is my plan. Here is one of my plans. To sort of do the scenes as much as I can in a scene sequel sort of, you know, pattern, where you have a scene where you have a goal of the character, you have a conflict and then a disaster that happens, and then the next scene is the sequel scene, so a reaction to what has just happened, the dilemma they now face and the decision that they make and how to move forward. Obviously, I'm not going to apply that to every single scene, because not every single scene needs a disaster and a dilemma. But for all of the important plot points, definitely want to focus on that. I have so many pages of these. I've decided to work in 60 scenes, as I used to do sometimes, just to help map everything out, especially because the method that I use for outlining, which is my own personal method of outlining, only outlines for 32 chapters. Of Stars and Smoke and Other Intangible Things has way more than 32 chapters. So I'm going to be splitting up the chapters into scenes. Chapter 1 will have scene 1 and scene 2, and chapter 2 will have scene 3 and scene 4, and maybe chapter 3 will be scene 5, you know? And I have this random piece of paper here just to write down every single scene that I have in order to be able to outline. And then obviously the new version of the outline, in which there are some plot points that are going to be moving around. Necessary, I think. So, you know, a lot of the plot isn't so much stuffed into Acts 2 and Act 3, you know. One of the main plot points is trying to find these knives that one of the characters saw in their end of the world vision. And I noticed that between Acts 2 and Act 3, it was very much chapter find a knife, talk about what to do, next chapter find a knife, talk about what to do, next chapter find, it's just like all very clustered together, and I just want to spread that out a bit. One, so it's not all this, everything is really, oh, what a coincidence that that's happened, oh, this person's just happened to have a vision telling you where to go next, oh, how handy, you know. Make it a bit more the characters doing it for themselves, or stumbling across it accidentally, or keeping it different, you know, not so much relying on these outside mystical forces that will tell them exactly where to go and exactly what to do next, but more they're doing it themselves through their investigating and their own personal motivation and drive, and the outside paranormal mystical forces are guiding them or warning them, sort of. Hang on, wait, I'm gonna stop talking for 1 second, please give me a second. Sorry, I just had a very ADHD thought about that. I was just like, let me write that down as something I need to focus on in regards to the plot of that story and fixing it. So I wrote it down. It's fine. I can focus on that. And making the villain a little bit more present, sinister, more of a threat to them, because he's very much in the background after Act 2, Act 3 and 4. And well, he's sort of in the background for Acts 1 and most of Act 2 by design. But I need to sort of bring the threat of him more into Acts 1 and 2, and then bring the physical threat of him. Did I say that sentence correctly? It doesn't matter. Physical threat of him more present in Act 3 and the beginning of Act 4, but he's very much a threat in the end of Act 4, which is what he's supposed to be. So those are the things that I need to focus on the most. And if I feel the need to work on any character, I will. But I feel as I'm outlining or re-outlining, I'll be working on character as I do so, and making sort of necessary changes to plot, to character arcs to go with what's happening. So those are the two main things that I want to focus on this weekend. I keep debating whether or not to give myself or make myself some sort of progress chart. That sounds really childish. That is something that I would give to my children. Well done, you did this today, sticker. Do I have stickers for that actually? Oh. No. Pressure. The stickers, not the chart. Anyway, some sort of progress chart, like in stream 1, this is what I achieved. Stream 2, this is what I achieved. Sort of so I can keep track that way of what I actually managed to get done. I keep thinking about doing it and then I keep not doing it. And now I'm thinking about doing it again. But then also that will be something else I need to focus on doing over the weekend, as in, have I remembered to do this? Do I need the extra added pressure? Or do I want to do it and then let it make me feel good about myself because I'm filling in all of these boxes? Can I give myself a reward if I fill in all of those boxes? You can tell I haven't planned the prep for this very well at all whatsoever, can't you? Yeah. I prep in my head, change that prep last minute, and then don't do the prep. And then struggle because I have not done the prep. Tell myself I'll make sure that I do the prep next time. And the circle continues. Anyway, so that is what I'm going to focus on. It is time zones suck. The Storytellers Hearth doesn't actually start for like another 8 hours. I got this part done in advance before the kids got home so I could do it properly. Well done for me, planning ahead. Well done for me, extra for actually doing it as planned. My feet are cold, my tea is cold, and I should probably eat something and maybe also do that progress chart. Update, I did make the progress chart. It's been about 5 minutes since that last little bit. My printer's not working. Because of course, why would it work when I need it to? I forgot that's not what printers do. Now I need to spend my time trying to fix the printer because I need this now that I've done it, otherwise it's a waste. Work, you silly thing, work. Update, we have success. That's right, you print off what I wanted you to print off, you silly little thing. Keep going, there we go. Thank you, you useless piece of technology. It's, yeah, that's basically it. That isn't as pale as I wanted it to be actually. Oh no, I might need to redo that. I'll leave it, whatever, it's fine. There's 13 slots for 13 streams, and I'll just write down what I did for each stream and each slot. I won't fix the numbers being not transparent enough right now because I'm not bothered, and if it bothers me later, then maybe I will. But for now, whatever, it's fine. I'm over it. The printer ruined everything for me. It's fine, whatever, I'm good.
No, you need to do the two hardest ones.
I don't care, honestly. You can beg it, but
I don't care about. What are you doing? What are you doing?
What are you doing, Mommy?
Filming for a video.
What are you?
Me for a video.
Oh,
Oh. Can I continue?
no.
Rude. Okay, so the Storytellers Hearth Weekend Relay has started. Yes, I forgot to film the beginning bit. Yes, one of my children is mocking me on that side of the camera as I speak, and now her tongue is being stuck out towards me. I'm not looking at you, but I can see what you're doing. I am on Nia's stream at the moment, which is stream number 1 with the Vixen of Fiction. And I have the royal we, obviously. I don't know why I keep trying to correct myself when I say that. I have finished chapter 25 of They Lead the Hunt, and I am just starting chapter 26, which is one of the chapters which does not have a lot of content or outlined content in it. I'm going to run into this issue quite a bit in Act 4 because most of it is 2 to 3 to maybe 500 words worth of content from when I started first writing this in Scrivener. And when I sort of re-outlined before going back and restarting the first draft, I added a lot of stuff to that outline for all of the final chapters. And it's like it's like a paragraph of an outline for an entire chapter that I have not fleshed out properly. So we're going to have a lot of fun trying to figure out the content of those chapters themselves. And I can already see how bad all of this writing is going to be. But I've resigned myself to the fact that it is going to be terrible. It's going to be my mantra from now on. It will be terrible, but it will also be fine. Yeah. You've got myself some more tea. Yes, the mug is different than earlier. No, you don't need to comment on it. And we're going to continue working on chapter 26, and we'll see how that goes. Third sprint, and we are now working on Of Stars of Smoke and Other Intangible Things. Good morning, it is day 2. We are on Saturday. I have an absolute mess everywhere on my desk because this is everything that I am working on this morning. And yes, my tea is already cold, which I do not appreciate at all whatsoever. So yesterday we managed to finish 2 chapters of They Lead the Hunt. Very, 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 very badly finished, but they're finished. So that was chapters 25 and 26, and I started doing a little bit of re-outlining, and I realised with my little thing that I put down all 13 streams, completely forgetting that streams 2 and 3, which is like 11 p.m. till 3 a.m, wasn't going to be going to. And I feel like 7 and 8 on today, or 8 and 9 today, I could be going to those either, because again, that's past my time. So, but you know what, it's fine. We're not going to worry about that. So we are on Alice Reed's stream at the moment. Very nice, very chill vibes. Everyone's getting prepped for the morning. And I am busy trying to do stuff. I don't actually know what I'm doing. I am writing down scenes for the 60 scenes and trying to match them to fit into one of the chapters on here. It's going okay so far. Once I've wrote all of those down, I'm going to go in and sort of try and properly re-outline with what needs to go where and who needs to be in POV. I don't know if the POVs for the chapters currently are going to change or not. And I don't know if I'm going to change the amount of chapters I have based on the content of those chapters, but we'll start here. And then I think what I'll do is move on to doing some scenes and sequels for at least some of the most important chapters, or at least the Act 2 to Act 3 chapters, just to see how well that flows. And I also need to sort of go through and make sure that the series of events for Act 2 and Act 3, because I've moved some plot points around again to keep everything a little bit more consistent. Also try and allow some breathing room in between all of the big plot points, or make it seem like there's more breathing room, I should say, between the plot points, and see how that goes. So a lot of finagling I've got to do today, and I'm probably going to be moving around between doing the 60 scenes and the scenes and sequel and the, you know, plot point charting as my brain sees fit. And then also at some point get back to They Lead the Hunt. I'm going to get some more tea actually, because it is cold. I should probably also get some breakfast. And I should probably also take my ADHD meds. So I'm going to get onto all of that. I have a child stealing my mug. Please hold that properly. Don't put it on my...
Why?
Why did you...
Oh.
And we're going to get back to work. Okay, we are on stream number 5, which is Morgan Lee's stream. I am still busy re-outlining, except I'm not so much just re-outlining, I'm also restructuring. And that's proving difficult to try and make the new order, or how I want the new order of events to happen. And I'm trying to make it make sense and flow properly, which is very, very difficult. And I think part of the reason I'm finding it difficult at the moment is because I'm using my current manuscript on Butterdocs to sort of see what I already have in the places that they're in, and adjusting it to be in the new format, the new layout, the new progress of plot points. And because I'm reading through what I've already previously written, I'm like, oh, but then I'm going to have to shift that specific conversation to somewhere else, because now it won't make sense in the context of the new way to put it. I'm going to stop, because I understand what I'm saying in my head, but I don't know if you guys are understanding the words that are coming out of my mouth, right? So there's this one scene where they're at the pier and something happens at the pier, and the pier leads to them, or one of the characters, we'll call it having a vision, even though it's a little bit different than that, which then leads them to midpoint. And in the original in draft 3, the pier scene is right at the very end of Act 2. So it's the pier scene and what happens there, the vision that leads them to midpoint and then midpoint. Right, that's where the pier scene currently is. I keep saying the word pier and now it doesn't sound like an actual word. It's like when you see spell a word over and over again, suddenly that word is not a word, you know? Now, on my new version that I have, in order to again spread out all of these plot points so they're not finding knives, you know, so quickly together at the end of Act 2, beginning of Act 3, the pier scene is here, and midpoint is here. And I say that going, this is Act 1 is these 8 boxes, Act 2 is these 8 boxes, so it's chapters 8, 9, 10, 11, no, 9, 10, I can count, 11, 12, and then 13, 14, 15, 16. So originally the pier scene was here, just before midpoint, in, you know, number 15. Now it's here, 12. So now I have 3 whole more chapters before midpoint, but I also have another plot point, the club, which used to be in Act 3, is now at the end of Act 2. So it's trying to figure out the correct sequence of events that need to happen within those scenes to then correctly lead them to where they need to go. And I'm realizing as I'm looking at all of this, Freya, one of the characters. Sure.
Okay. Thanks, Mommy.
You're welcome. Freya, one of the characters, is the main. The event at the pier revolves around Freya. Okay. But then the club scene also sort of revolves around Freya. So now I'm like, oh no. I might have to change that a little bit. I was about to say I could change it actually, because the pier scene could be Theo, because Theo's the one that sort of assists him most on the pier scene. The bad thing that happens at the pier happens afterwards to Freya. And I was about to go, oh, I can change it so it's all Theo. That would be fantastic, but I can't, because there's a specific part of what happens at the pier to Freya that affects stuff that happens in the future. Maybe I could move that to the club though. Oh,
Love you, honey.
love you too, honey.
Bye.
My dear, give me a second to write this down. Okay, so, and I can't swap the club and the pier because of how the characters and when the characters find out information. I should stop talking because I just had an idea. So club is okay, right? So this is why I love talking things out, because I figure things out when I'm talking things out loud. So the bad thing that happens at the pier to Freya, which then leads to her having the vision, how she has the vision, which leads them to midpoint, which is bad. If I shift that specific moment to the club, and the pier can just be the pier and something bad can happen at the pier, but then when they're at the club, the thing that happens to Freya, I'll have to frame it differently because now they're not at a pier, there's no water. I have to frame it differently, but that can happen at the club instead, which will then lead into the midpoint without losing the fun conversation. This is also, I don't lose fun conversation, right? Turning the heater off. This fun conversations, I like the conversations. I want to keep as much of this draft 3 as possible and all of the content of draft 3 as possible. The less I have to write new stuff for draft 4, the better. Thank you guys, that was super helpful.
Mommy?
So now I'm gonna put all of that down on here, and then in my random little book sort of write down the new way of things. I'm going to continue doing that for the next stream at least. And then I think what I'll do is for stream number 6 is get back to work on some They Lead the Hunt. Need to do both, doing both. Don't want to do the Lead the Hunt chapter, but I'm going to, and I'm also going to get some more tea. Those 2 things I'm going to do next. And yes, I have once again changed my mug. Don't comment on it. I've got like 5 million of them. They all need some love over the weekend. Yes, I'm now in my car. The plan is simple, even though it's Saturday. Try and find a coffee shop and do a little bit of writing in one of those, just to get myself out of the house. This sunshine is right in my face and I do not like it. So hopefully we'll be able to find a place, we'll be able to find a seat and get all set up nice in time for stream number 6 and make some progress with They Lead the Hunt. It's been a while since I have caught up, but we have successfully, not that I wanted to film much while I was at the coffee shop because it was awkward and it was quite busy. I have finished chapters, I just completely forgot what chapters it was, and I had it in my head just before I pressed record and now I've lost it again. 26 and 27 of They Lead the Hunt have officially very badly been finished, but it's the first draft, so it doesn't matter that it's bad. I can fix it later, and I'm currently most of the way through chapter 28. Is that the right character? It is most of the way through chapter 28. There's just a little bit of the front of the chapter, nope, the beginning of the chapter that I need to fill in for that to sort of be finished, which I'm going to do tomorrow. That can wait. We are most of the way through my own stream now, stream 7. Finishes in like an hour. So what I'm going to do for the rest of my stream, and then part of some of the stream that I'll see a little bit later, which would be stream 8, which is like 11 PM my time. I'm going to do some more working on the restructuring and re-outlining for Of Stars and Smoke and Other Intangible Things, because I've been hitting a good stride with that, and I want to see if I can have that continue for the last little bit of today and maybe some of tomorrow. It is officially Sunday the 28th, day 3 of the Storytellers Hearth Weekend Relay. I haven't done much today so far. Had to take my daughter out to meet some of her friends. But we are here at Annika's stream, the fun 5 AM chill stream at the moment. And so far I have just quickly read through what I restructured for the outline for Of Stars and Smoke and Other Intangible Things. And now I am destroying one of my little mini notebooks and cutting up the pages to do something potentially stupid. And I think in my head it will work. Bless you. And, you know, I thought about the idea going, I should do that. That will help me out. So now I'm doing it. I don't know if it will actually help me out, but I'm certainly going to give it a go. And the reason I'm cutting up random pieces of paper is because I wanted to write down, or at least organise or think of all of the different scenes for Of Stars and Smoke and Other Intangible Things. Cue me researching, which I shouldn't need to research because I've been writing for like years. What constitutes a scene in a novel? I know. Because I've always seen a scene as like, oh, if there is a change of location, a change of character, or a change of time, that is a scene, right? That constitutes the beginning and ends of scenes. Now that might not be 100% true. Scenes can be whatever you want them to be, really. But also, I'm doing it this way because, and I'm probably going to need to go through my actual manuscript for draft 3 to do this properly. When I'm keeping my desk tidy today. When I was writing down, all of the different scenes in sort of order, and again, 60 scenes isn't a thing you need. It's just something I like doing. I didn't have quite, like 60 scenes. And partly maybe because I didn't actually do them scene by scene. I'm trying to talk and I'm not quite making sense. Basically, I'm going to put all of the different scenes right on these. There's hopefully 60 here. I don't actually know. I've not counted them. Each scene on here, some of them are going to be in 100% order. Some of them are going to be, but then also for character sake, for backstory sake, where what I had on this piece of, which I put away, I'm not organised today. All of these scenes on here are like very important plot point scenes. And I just want to go through, 1, for all of the proper plot point scenes, and then 2, if there are any other short scenes that I have where I can, obviously, character, background, blah, 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 and organise them that way. You know what, actually, that will give me a perfect time to colour code. Colour code! I love colour coding. Let me get my... super dusty because I've not used them in ages. Stationery. And yeah, so we can separate them into big important plot point scenes that I need, and then sort of organize them how I want to organize them. And I feel like this is going to sound weird, even though I'm using paper, right? I feel like this feels like more tactile. This feels like organization more. This feels fun. So that's why I've got these, hopefully to sort of make it a bit more fun. I'll get really annoyed at it and be like, oh my God, this is so difficult. I can't do this. But at the moment, this is what my brain wants to try. And I'm also gonna color code how I typically color code, because I like color coding things. I have my color code. I probably won't follow that exact color code, but this is what I use to also make sure that I have a decent amount of everything in the novel itself. So I usually go through and I will highlight scenes or chapters that focus on the main plot, that focus on characters, that focus on the magic system, that focus on subplot, and that has a focus on the antagonists. Just so I can sort of look at everything and be like, actually, hang on. I have everything everywhere. It's really terrible. I have this somewhere, actually, I can show you. I say that, I might be lying. Am I lying or am I not lying? Oh, I might be lying. I'll come back. Found it. Of course, as soon as I'm done looking through it, I accidentally find it. So basically what I do is, and this is for Of Stars and Smoke and Other Intangible Things. I do, and this is one of my revision pages. So we do the first box, which is the main focus, or the main thing I focus on in that chapter. And then the second most thing I focus on, and then the third and the fourth. And you can see that for these first few, we focus a lot on the characters first, and then the orange I think is plot, the yellow is subplot. So I can sort of see, and you can see as we go through, there's not a lot of green really as a main focus, a secondary focus maybe, which is where we see the antagonist. There's a lot of yellow, which is subplot, especially here in the middle, probably a bit too much. There's less focus on actual plot, and so on and so forth. So that is something I do to revise. Visuals help me learn, and visuals make things more fun, and I feel more organised. So I think what I'm going to do is put this away nicely and not just dump it randomly on my desk when nothing's going to fit and it's all going to fall off. You know, I don't care actually. I'll fix that later. I won't fix that later. So yes, I'm going to write all of the scenes that I have, important scenes. We'll colour code them, and then I'll sort of then put them in some sort of order. And if there's any scenes that I can just shove in wherever I want to shove scenes in, for character especially, I shall shove them in at that point. But that is the plan, at least for the next little bit, because I do have to go pick my daughter back up from the cinema. I have to leave actually before I get started on this. I prepped it though, so which means I have to do it. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the, when I get back from picking my daughter up to the next stream. We're going to be focusing on that, and hopefully it is as fun and will keep me focused on it, because it's something new and my brain likes new stuff. Yes, it is another new mug. I could have a new mug for every single clip that I film. I would probably not get through all of my mugs. I have a lot. I'm going to stop talking and actually get some work done. Let's go. You will know I really, really like something if I have merch. Guess what day it is? If you guessed Sunday, you are incorrect. It is now Monday. I fell off a little bit at the end of the Storytellers Hearth Weekend Relay. I was really good up until my break stream, which was stream number 3 at like 11 AM EDT, I think. And then just after that, I was like, for the last 2 streams, so I did no more work after that, which is sucky because I wanted to participate at least a little bit in all of the streams, but I participated and did work for most of them, so that is the most important thing. In regards to my little chart thingy that I was filling out, I don't know where it is, so I did not fill it out completely. It's on my desk somewhere. I moved some stuff around, I put some stuff down, and that disappeared underneath things. But I did get done, and I know what I got done. I don't know what I got done. Hang on, I'll find out what I got done. All They Lead the Hunt. I completed chapters 25, 26, and 27. And most of 28 is literally just the last beginning bit of chapter 28 I need to do. So it's not too much at all whatsoever. But yeah, that tiny little bit, the intro to the chapter, and then chapter 28 is done. And I forgot that was how little I had to do of chapter 28. Otherwise I would have tried harder to get some of that done yesterday. Whoopsie daisy. And in regards to the outlining of Stars and Smoke and Other Intangible Things, I did a restructure, I did a sort of re-outline, and I managed to get done out of my little cardy things that I was doing yesterday. Oh my god, no, I can't do this with one hand because now they're all coming out of order. Not that it really matters because I know what order they go in. I managed to get hang on. Managed to get roughly this many done. I don't know how many that is. It is a few though. So we're having all of the chapters, and then this little bit in the corner is the POV character. This is the very first scene in the book. Try and guess what I mean by Tala dead body. And then up here in the corner is just a very quick, this is the couple of main important things that happen in that particular scene. And what I have realised doing things scene by scene, or at least doing it this little way here, which is why I always try and do outlining in 2 different ways, because doing it a different way helps me catch stuff. I have realised that where I've restructured, I've got now a very, very large gap between something antagonist based happening. So with the rough scenes here, we have antagonist thing here, and then discussion, and then an antagonisty thing here, and then a discussion, an antagonisty thing here. So you see. So I know now that that is something that I need to look into, because that is, I think, too big of a gap for something big to happen. It's not like nothing happens. There is some discoveries. There is some, we can like see the antagonist creeping about and spying on a couple of the characters. But there's nothing big that happens. I feel like my characters have too many discussions about stuff that is going on. So I need to make sure that I work on that a little bit and try and put something in there or reshuffle something else around. So in between those 2 like big attacks by the antagonist, something else does happen, or the characters do something that causes something bad to happen, or you know, something like that to just elevate the tension and the stakes for those little bits. But that is a problem for future Sarah. I say those words and mean them too much. And that marks the end of the Storytellers Hearth Weekend Relay for March. It was so much fun chatting and working with and being with all of the writers in the community, some of who I have worked with and chatted to before, some of them are new, so that was absolutely fantastic. And I got some good work done, and I have a very good sort of foundation now of Stars and Smoke and Other Intangible Things, which I think puts me in like okay, it's not going to be as hard work, we're good. And I'm now so close. 4 chapters now to finishing the first draft after like 4 years of They Lead the Hunt, which is also fantastic. So good progress was made. I'm not going to tell you the next time I'm going to actually work on any of it. We'll see how I feel in regards to that. But we are in a good place moving forward, and I am happy with the work that I got done, which is the most important thing. And I had fun, which is also the most important thing. Everything I did was important. That's not right. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you took part in a Storytellers Hearth Weekend Relay, let me know how you did. Did you have fun? And I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.